Is this man smoking the chronic? And the 744 people that have so far liked it. You've got to be questioning that about them too. Let's have a listen, Jenson.
I also just think the sport is even more competitive now.
I even think that the sport is even more competitive now. Well, let's have a look at the empirical evidence, Jenson. Um, it's really competitive, isn't it? With different winners at every single Grand Prix. That competitive that we've had that many different changes of winning constructor at each race this year, and that many different drivers that have won Grand Prix this year. So competitive, just like your championship winning season, Jenson, where you dominated for the first 7 races while you had the best car. And then we've got uh, another driver in Sebastian Vettel, Mark Webber, Lewis Hamilton, Rubens Barrichello, Kimi Raikkonen, all different race winners that year, different constructors winning races. That would be kind of how you describe something being competitive. And in 2023, what are we seeing? Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen. Oh, let's listen to what you've got to say though, Jenson.
There's so many big teams fighting at the front, and one tiny slip up, and you're the fourth best team.
Yeah, one tiny slip up, and you're the fourth best team because all it can take is like a slight reduction in wind tunnel testing time because you've cheated and gone over budget, enabling you to develop your car better than the other teams, which means you get to negotiate your penalty and pay a little bit of a pocket change for them, fine, and get a reduction in your wind tunnel testing times, which is going to significantly impact you. And just one little slip up would mean you go from first down to fourth, wouldn't it? Yeah, just one little slip up like that. One huge disadvantage of having that wind tunnel testing time reduced is going to have all that difference on you, isn't it, Jenson?
So to catch Red Bull is difficult, but they're getting closer. I mean, Brazil wasn't a great example.
No, Brazil wasn't a great example. No. Which one of these are we going to use as the great example of the other teams beating Red Bull? Oh, Singapore. That Grand Prix whereby down the straights where Red Bull has a DRS advantage, where it just pulls out and just blitzes past cars. It didn't have that in Singapore. Is it because for some reason it's the track conditions don't suit the car? When you have a straight bit of road and you pull out, put your foot on the accelerator and go faster than the other car, is it just in Singapore your car can't do that? Right, okay. That's a good explanation for that. Thanks for that. That's not in any way suspicious, is it?
But this second part of the season, you've seen teams like McLaren, Mercedes, both fighting very closely with the Red Bulls.
Yeah, and seeing all the different results that we're getting from that.
Max has had that little advantage.
Max has had a little advantage,
but his teammate hasn't. So
why is that? Why is that? Because generally what we see in Formula One seasons is even in a dominant car, when Mercedes dominated, you'd got Valtteri Bottas, Valtteri Bottas, Valtteri Bottas, Valtteri Bottas, still winning races, and you've still got other teams, Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, still winning races, Charles Leclerc, Ferrari, Red Bull, even in a Mercedes dominant season. 2023.
We could have an upset next year.
Because the evidence is pointing to that, isn't it? The evidence is pointing to that, Jenson.
Don't think it's going to be all Red Bull's way. This year was an exceptional year for that team.
Why?
I don't feel it will be the same next year, which is what the sport needs.
What leads you to believe that? What are you basing that prediction on, Jenson?
We need a little bit of a mix-up.
Let's sell the show. Let's pretend to everybody that next year it's all going to be different. But the other thing is, Jensen, this clip that now exists on Sky Sports, that's actually a clip down version of the original. Now, the original, I'm going to try and play you that I've got on my phone. So let's hope that the audio works on this. This is what he actually started by saying. So let's see if it picks it up on the mic.
Well, you don't have the rule changes that we were lucky enough to have. I also just think that.
Well, you don't have the rule changes that we were lucky enough to have. Aren't we so lucky that we had these rule changes which have made everything so much more competitive, and so that it's just not being a boring sport dominated by just one team and one driver, because that's so boring and fans will switch off or not want to watch it. So what we need to do is tell the fans that next year it could be all so different, and all it takes is one little slip up, one little disadvantage, and it can all change. One little bit of reduction in wind tunnel testing time, and it can all change. What does Martin have to say about it? Tell us, Martin.
Red Bull didn't do anything wrong. There are no misdemeanors on their part. Or
Thanks for that, Martin. Thanks for that.